Welcome to 2025 and a new year of Inside Forbes Middle East. I'm Sally Mousa, and we are kicking off the year with a deep dive into the stories, trends, and game changers shaping the Middle East right now. Today, we are spotlighting the movers and shakers of the region's venture capital scene, the state of funding across the MENA region, and what lies ahead for travel and events in this dynamic part of the world. And to talk all of that and more, I'm excited to be back in the studio with our managing editor, Claudine Coletti. So good to see you.
Great to see you, Sally. Happy New Year.
Yeah, happy 2025. We're well into January, but you know what? It is kicking off in a very big way. Our latest edition of Forbes Middle East, we both take a special look back at 2024, but also we're looking ahead to 2025 and what it has in store. You know, it's interesting when we look at 2024 as a year, it was challenging for a number of reasons, but the IMF is looking at it as definitely an improvement on 2023. They're seeing growth of 2.1% compared to 1.9 for 2023, but forecasting ahead 4% growth in 2025. Claudine, where are we going to be seeing this growth coming from?
I mean, across the board, really, but according to the World Bank, it's largely going to come from the non-hydrocarbon sectors. Obviously, I mean, oil is a huge thing. No one's saying it isn't. But it's actually the diversification strategies of the Middle Eastern countries are really, really starting to bear fruit now. So it's going to be those industries that see a lot of growth. Even last year, first half of last year, PwC said that there was, in the non-oil sectors, it's around 4% growth, really across the board, like Kuwait, UAE, Saudi. Kuwait, I think, was 4.7%. They were the highest. But yeah, I mean, that's going to continue reaping rewards.
Absolutely. We were seeing as well, Oman, roughly the same kind of figures, 3.8% as well, 3.7% in Saudi Arabia too. So the non-oil sectors are really picking up, as you say. So this will definitely be something for us to watch. But this edition is all about our Midas list. We are looking at the top venture capitalists of 2024. This is a list that's always much anticipated, but what makes this year's list stand out?
I love this list. I mean, these guys really are the lifeblood, right? You know, it's thanks to these guys that the startups are able to get the investment they need to change all of our lives. Last year, first 9 months of last year, we did see a bit of a dip in funding. It's about 13%, but there was still, I think it's around $1.3 billion raised, over 350 deals just in the first 9 months, which is still great. There was a rise of about 7% with the non-mega funding deals. So they're ones that are lower than $100 million, but still, it's a lot of money. So we're really seeing a lot of investment, a lot of success, and a lot of really exciting things coming forward.
Again, you know, those non-oil sectors, we're looking at things like a real appetite for tech-driven solutions, sustainable enterprises as well, cutting-edge industries. They're all coming up in there. But one of the names that stood out for me was Shuruq Partners. This one is so interesting. You know, Mahmoud Adi and Shane Shin, when they both met in Silicon Valley 10 years ago. It's so interesting. You know, the meeting of minds that happened at the Mubadala-backed chip maker that they both worked at, Global Foundries. And since then, they have created a $500 million partnership, really, that has funded so many amazing startups.
Yeah, I love talking to these guys. It's such these founder stories, they're so inspiring, and it's just so real. Like they met at work at Silicon Valley. They became friends. They inspired each other. They traveled around to like China, India, doing deals for the company. And in doing so, they sparked conversations and realized that they had a vision. And so they both they backed themselves. They moved to Abu Dhabi. They set up their business. And they're doing great things now. They're actually venturing into venture debt and private capital, which is it's a new thing for a VC in this region. They have, what they're saying they want to do is to become like the Blackstone of the Middle East. That's obviously a massive, massive name. But they're really looking to innovate in the industry. And actually, Mahmoud is also a co-founder of Pure Harvest Smart Farms, which is one of the startups they're backing.
love Pure Harvest. I always buy from them.
I do too.
Not an ad.
Excellent tomatoes.
But truly, yeah, that is, again, agri-tech, one of those industries that is really coming up, particularly here in the UAE and in this region. As well.
Food and water scarcity, these are big issues for the Middle East. So any kind of technology that can, really change things for us and enable us to grow our own food and find water in the desert. I mean,
it's huge. Yeah. It's huge. And it's so interesting, because, Mahmoud and Shane, an Emirati and a Korean American, meeting to create this. It's pretty cool, because they were like looking at Mubadala. And at that time, Mubadala had become a $300 billion fund. And they were like, but they only did about 1% in the Middle East. So we were like, we need to be investing more here, looking at all of these amazing startups that are coming through.
I remember them saying that in the interview. It's like, why aren't we backing ourselves? We have all these fantastic names and businesses coming to the Middle East, but why don't we build it here? And that's what they're doing.
They absolutely did. As you say, Pure Harvest is one of the companies that they're backing. Saudi fintech unicorn Tamara as well. The Egyptian e-grocery platform Breadfast. So many that they are backing and still moving more into. So it's a fascinating firm that is only set to grow, and it's going to be really interesting to see their trajectory as they grow and expand, as they are doing not just here in the region, but around the world as well.
Yeah, they have strong ties in Korea, probably unsurprisingly, but Shane does still work with the government there, and so they have a few things coming up.
Amazing. Now, one of the leading VCs as well that we are looking at in this issue is also one of our cover stars, and it is 500 Global's managing partner, Amal Dukhan, an incredible woman. She is a Saudi investor and a mentor who has really an extraordinary story that is just so full of impact, isn't it?
I love women in these roles. There's just not enough of them, so it's absolutely brilliant when we hunt them down and they agree to talk to us. Amal's been really inspiring. She actually started off her career as a teacher, and then just pivoted. Obviously, had a vision and a desire to do something else. So she kind of pivoted in, I think it was around 2013. And then 2021, she set up the regional headquarters in Saudi Arabia for 500 Global. And she's just been doing great stuff, fantastic stuff ever since. They work with Zanabil Investments. So they have like a seed funding program for early stage startups, and they do things like boot camps and accelerator programs, really just supporting homegrown businesses.
It is absolutely fantastic to see. I've had the honor of knowing Amal, interviewing her on several occasions, at our events and otherwise as well, and she is a powerhouse if there ever was one. She's an incredible person. She had cancer at the age of 12, then went into medicine, then went into education. She's done some unbelievable things, but she's very astute when it comes to VC, and she's spoken about what it takes to really attract capital to your business. As you say, she works, in early startups and pre-startups as well. And how do you get the funding there? And, she often talks about the importance of making sure that you understand the context that you're in, you understand the fit that you're looking for, that you're not just going out to whoever and just reaching out to all of these people and saying, come and fund my business, but understanding who you're approaching, how you're approaching them, and making sure it's almost like matchmaking, this whole thing of making sure you as an entrepreneur attract the right investor.
Exactly. Yeah. Like you say, it's finding the right partners, because if you find that correct partnership, the right fit for you, you have that support from inception all the way through to, however, whatever your dream is.
It's long term. Yeah, it's often long term that it comes through that way. Yeah, absolutely. So many that are coming through in our list as well. So it really gives you a great roundup of the VC scene here in the Middle East. So that is not to be missed. But you know what? Let's go into something a little bit lighter. We've just come out of the holiday season. But I think it's actually a good time to start planning for what we're going to be doing in terms of travel for 2025 as well. And so we have this great list that talks about the trends in travel for 2025 and beyond.
It's never too soon to start booking your next holiday, as far as I'm concerned. And in terms of what we're going to be doing in 2025, it looks like we're going to be sleeping, Sally.
I love it.
Sleep tourism is apparently a thing, and it's going to be big. People booking holidays purely to absolutely unwind, rest, relax. I mean, sightseeing's all fine, but the bed has to be comfy.
That was literally the thing that caught my eye the most, because you know what's interesting? What's previously used to happen is that you kind of used to book a holiday and go, how many things can I fit into this period of time? And you try to fit in as many different activities and experiences and things like that. But people are going the opposite way, going, wait, I need time to recover, to nourish myself, and so the sleeping, I guess, is part of kind of a wellness trend as well that we're seeing coming through as well in travel as well, where people are just like, what's going to make me feel good? What is going to help me to not need a holiday from the holiday, right?
Exactly. How many times do you get back from holiday exhausted? Yeah. I mean, you've had a great time, but it's still tiring. Yeah. Wellness is also one of the trends that we're going to see next year. And like you said, I think it's all just about recharging and taking time for yourself.
Yeah.
Which, sounds like a dream.
And what's interesting is one of the events that we just had at the very end of 2024 for us was the medical tourism and wellness summit that we had for Forbes Middle East. Amongst all of that, we're going to talk about all of those amazing events, but there was such a focus on that, and that was so popular. I feel like that was one of our most popular events.
It was a really great event. I really, really enjoyed it. And the focus on wellness is just it matters to everybody, right? These are topics that we all benefit from, we all learn from. You can never have too much time for yourself. It's important.
Exactly, especially in this day and age where everything is so fast paced as well. But it's interesting, you hear about people going on silent retreats. You hear about people going on darkness
Don't know
retreats.
how I do with a silent retreat, to be fair.
Exactly.
You might end up going a little bit crazy.
Right? But you've got things where people are focused on sustainability in travel as well, and traveling to places for the experience, for entertainment. And I kind of want to link the two, because recently this month we just had Coldplay coming out to play in the UAE, and I got to go, and it was incredible. But apart from the fact that it was a fantastic concert, the whole focus on sustainability around that, I was actually amazed. They have a whole report, because a few years ago, it was around the time of the pandemic, they talked about, we want to be more sustainable in how we tour and how we do things. And I'm like, yeah, okay, that sounds all right. But they really, really took to it. And it's interesting, because you go to their website and you hear things like, there was an overall 59% reduction in the direct carbon footprint. It was amazing that 1 tree planted for every single concert goer. We're talking about millions of people here. 2 solar powered ocean cleanup river intercepts deployed. Like, the kind of things that they have put out there are completely, incredible. 86% on average return of the LED wristbands that they have. They would be recycled. Even on the actual dance floor, right? So the floor of the actual concert was kinetic. So when people were bouncing up and down and dancing, that was actually producing energy. And they had bikes that people could actually ride to produce energy for the next concert they were at.
Absolutely incredible.
I'm telling you, the stuff they thought of, their team really sat down and went, how can we really make this a lot more sustainable? And it was just amazing.
Wouldn't it be great to just see all of the artists, doing the same thing?
Right.
Because, you're on a world tour, the carbon footprint would go through the roof,
exactly.
Right? It's not just the band traveling, it's everyone around you. So, offsetting, that's great.
Even the jets, they're using SAF fuel, which is the sustainable fuel that they have now, which is a whole new thing. So they're really thinking about every aspect. So that's amazing. So when you do go on a holiday, when you go to an experience like that, it feels really good, as somebody because you know that you're supporting something that is going to be sustainable, that is going to be doing good for the planet and not just taking away. So it adds to your experience somewhat, even though it's got to be a great concert, and it was. Yeah. So it was amazing. But speaking of events, we had so many come through.
Oh, it was, yes, second half of the year. Wow.
Your reaction? Honestly, it was just unbelievable. All the way from, we started with the healthcare summit, we went on to sustainability, we went on to the medical tourism and wellness summit, we had the 30 under 30, and finally we had the women's summit in Riyadh, which was absolutely incredible.
Oh, that was so, I mean, I overuse this word when I keep saying everything's inspiring. It genuinely was, though. It was a wonderful event to end the year on.
It really was.
Just some absolutely beautiful stories being told on stage.
It was amazing. It was incredible. We had women from across every sector, every walk of life, sharing their stories, sharing their struggles, sharing their triumphs and successes. We had royalty. It was incredible. You know, every single woman there was inspiring. And I know there are some people who come to almost every one of our events, and even that one, I used to get comments from people going, what is it about this event that was just so special? It was above and beyond. But, you know, every single one, it is just amazing to see. When you come to a Forbes Middle East event, you're literally surrounded with the leaders of that industry. And that is an unparalleled experience. You cannot, it's incredible. It is incredible. It's multi-day. You're there over a couple of days. You're experiencing, it's not just the event itself. So there's multiple stages, but you're there. You see the vendors in these industries. You see the people who were on the grassroots, who are doing incredible things, amazing initiatives, whether it's in arts, in culture, anything that's related to that.
I love the events for lots of reasons, but it's a real opportunity to meet people in person and to build those connections and to actually see the impact that our work has on these industries, and learning more. I mean, the couple of panels that I moderated at the women's event, there were women on there that they traveled from around the world. There was someone from America, someone from Morocco, someone from, it's a really big deal to the industry and to us, and it's just great opportunities. I'm looking forward to doing it all over again this year.
Yes. Oh my goodness. And so I think it's important to talk about it because there's a lot more that is going to do coming up as well. And like you say, I met women from Colombia, I met women from Venezuela who came to Saudi Arabia. And for a lot of these people, it was their first time coming as well, who may not have been there before, but they'd heard about it and they were like, I want to check this out. I want to see what this is. And it's just incredible to see it uniting so many people from all over the world coming through, and the kind of experts that we have coming to these are not just regional experts, they're global experts as well in their field. So I'm super excited for what's coming up this year. Forbes Middle East events. If you want to come to our events, ForbesMiddleEastEvents.com. That is where you have to be. Go on our social media, follow us there, because then you'll know. Whatever is coming up, we will let you know, and you can be there as well, because it's just not to be missed, really.
Absolutely.
Yeah, amazing. Oh my goodness. So much in this edition of Forbes Middle East for January. It was for December and January. We've got February coming up. What can we look forward to in February?
February, again, is one of my favorite issues. They're all my favorite issues. February is the most powerful business women in the region. So, I mean, we're championing women. I absolutely love it.
We love that. We love that. We cannot wait for that. Amazing. So much to look forward to in the February issue, and so much for our audience and readers to keep up with, from live events to our podcasts, which are both in Arabic and English here at Forbes Middle East, available now on all major platforms. Make sure you do subscribe to our channel so that you know when the latest episodes drop. And also, of course, Forbes Middle East magazine. Make sure you get it in Arabic and English every month, both online and in print. And as we said, make sure to follow us across our social media platforms as well, so you don't miss a thing. I'm Sally Mousa, and we'll see you next time on Inside Forbes.